Hello, everybody. My name is Eric D. Johnson, also known as BrightShine. I live right here in the city of Memphis, in the state of Tennessee, in the county ship. Today's date is early Sunday morning, June the 26th, 2016, time 4:51 a.m. First, I thank my fans, my support for continue encouraging support and continue to keep myself employed right here in this Memphis tri-state area and continue to further my education, moral college online, pursuing my social research, studying business administration, concentration, marketing. The music you hear in the background is African hip hop, and you have the radio station online now. And on today's video, we're gonna continue to talk about African traditional religion. And we're gonna continue to talk about African traditional religion. It is being taught in sub-Saharan Africa, institutions of higher learning, colleges, universities. They teach African traditional religion. You can earn a bachelor's degree, master's degree, PhD from studying African traditional religion. You can go to campus, you can go to a campus in sub-Saharan Africa, or you can study African traditional religion online at an institution such as the National Open University of Nigeria. They teach African traditional religion online, and the University of South Africa. They teach African traditional religion online. And like I said, African traditional religion is being taught. It's not a phrase. It's not a phrase. It's a subject that's being taught in Africa, in sub-Saharan Africa, institutions of higher learning, and get all the information you need. Get all the information you need, prerequisites, what you need, passports, whatever. Get all the information you need about the grades you need to have and things in nature. And where sub-Saharan Africa, well, let's get the map. Look at the map. Now this here is a language map. It shows the African continent. It shows what the other part of Africa. And in the blue, it shows the Afro-Asiatic. The yellow, it shows the Nilo-Saharan. And the dark orange looking color, it shows the Niger-Congo A. And you see the little light orange color, it shows the Niger-Congo B, Bantu. But you do starting to see some sub-Saharan Africa. See West Africa, sub-Saharan Africa, Central Africa. Now this is the southern part of Africa. It also shows you the code, the color code. Shows the blue, Afro-Asiatic. The yellow is the Nilo-Saharan. The dark orange looking color, that's the Niger-Congo A. The light orange color is the Niger-Congo B, the Bantu. Now the green looking color, that's the core people and the sand people. Those two groups of people, the core people and the sand people. Now, the Niger-Congo A and Niger-Congo B, the Bantu expansion into southern Africa, intermarried with the core people and the sand people. Then you see the lavender, purple looking color over there on the island of Madagascar. That's the Austronesians. Now you know the Austronesians are the people that came from Indonesia and they settled in Madagascar. There's another map that shows you the language map. It shows you the African continent, and it shows you the people that live on the African continent. This is language distribution. Now it shows you the Niger-Congo language. Niger-Congo languages are primary branch, the Volta Congo. Now you have your South Volta, Bantu. Then you have your Bantu, you have your Bantoid besides Bantu. Then you have your other East Benue Congo, you have your West Benue Congo, and you have your Kwe. That's in the South Volta. Then you have your North Volta. You have your Kru, Senufo, your Gur Volta languages, and you have your Adamawa Ubungian languages. Then you have your other primary languages, your Kordofan, your Mandi, your Atlantic, and your Dogon. You don't know the difference between the Afro-Asiatic. You don't know the difference between the Afro-Asiatic and the Nilo-Saharan. You need to make sure you know the difference. You don't know the difference between the Nilo-Saharan and the Niger-Congo. You need to know the difference. You don't know the difference between the Afro-Asiatic and the Niger-Congo. You need to know the difference. That includes the Austronesian. There's another language map. It shows the Niger-Congo. Niger-Congo, the Atlantic group, your Wolof and your Fule, and that includes the Seru, because the Seru also in the Atlantic group. Your Mandi, Bambare, Mandingo, Maliki, and Dayule, your Kru, your Gur. In the Gur category, there's the Mori, your Kwe, Bali, Akan, and Iwi. Then you have your Dogon, you have your Adroid, your Adamawa Ubungian language, Zabaye, Bandam, and Zandi. Then you have your Kordofan, then you have your non-Bantoid, Yoruba, and Igbo. You have your Bantoid, like Afang, Tiki, Lingale, Mongo and Kundu, Congo, Choki, Lube, Luganda, Rwanda, and Rundi, Sukume, Kikuyu. Then you have your Bantu, Swahili, Nakube, Inyanje, Bimbe, Shone, Tisange, Northern Soto, Zulu, Southern Soto, Kosa, Tiswane, and Dange Bandu. know ain't nobody never seen my picture. I know my life. But my picture when I graduated boot camp. You know, I just want to take a little minute here and this week, you know, things happening, everyday life all around, everywhere. And we had these occurrences happening and things. And but what I'm finna say is not nothing negative or in response to anything negative, just something I saw on the news. And some positive, some positive. And they were talking about the gun control debate in Washington D.C. And in the aftermath of this incident that happened in Orlando, Florida, in Washington D.C. in the U.S. House of Representatives, U.S. Senate, and things of this, they continue to have this, have this debate about gun control. And some of the members of the Democratic Party, as far as I know, they didn't mention any Republican, but it could have been without being mentioned. Could have been involved in the sit-in, but they had a sit-in in the United States Congress, House of Representatives, and the Democrats, they was wanting to get some gun control passed because continue to have these incidents, problems with people using firearms and things of this nature, and these incidents like that happen in Orlando. I mean, incidents happen all around the country, and very commendable thing to do is to show your people who don't support having guns and things of this nature, and they want to in the House of Representatives they want to have a they want to make it clear that they didn't support not having gun control, not being able to keep these guns out of the hands of people who don't need them. And I mean, in America, many of these incidents have been involved in, these incidents have happened. People have had some mental health issues. You know I'm right. And that when you look at these incidents that we've been talking about on the news, you've been saying that President Obama he keep having to stand in front of in the podium and give a speech or whatever behind one of these incidents. And when you see the person, you remember one of the incidents at the abortion clinic. Remember, it was a person with a mental health issue at the school up there in the northeast, up there in the northeastern part of the country. It was a person with a mental health problem. We had some incidents. We had more than one incident at a movie theater. There was a person with a mental health problem. They had no criminal record, and they was able to get a firearm. But the thing that I wanted to say something about, comment about, is that it was a person that I seen in the House of Representatives who've been around for many years, dedicated his life to trying to speak up for, for people and putting his own life on the line. You understand? And the person that I'm talking about is our Representative John Lewis. And when I seen Representative John Lewis there, it just verifies, it just goes right along what I've been saying. When I seen John Lewis and Representative John Lewis, when you look at this man's background, do a background check. Do a background check. Check his background. Look at his record. Look at Representative John Lewis's record. Look at just do a background check on Representative John Lewis. And this goes right along what I've been saying. I can't understand how you come up with a Barack Obama. How you come up with a Barack Hussein Obama to be the first black president? When I seen Representative John Lewis in the House of Representatives in a sitting, I couldn't understand. I just couldn't understand why he's still in the House of Representatives and not in the White House. That's what I can't understand. Why he not in the governor's mansion? That's what I can't understand. That's why I can't get it at all. It just cannot. My mind just cannot. How in the hell is John Lewis still sitting in the House of Representatives? Not even a senator. Look at this man's background. That's a shame. That's a crime shame. It's a crime shame that a man with his background, he marched with Dr. Martin Luther King. This man was out there and marched on Selma, where the state troopers attacked Dr. Martin Luther King and all the people who were marching at the Pettus Bridge on the march on Selma. Representative John Lewis was there. Representative John Lewis was one of the founders of the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee. The Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, before even Barack Obama was even conceived. This man his life was on the line. You can look at some of the footage at when they had the marches and things. This man was beat. This man got attacked. I seen a video. This man was bleeding from his head. That's right, Representative John Lewis. He had to go to the hospital. He had to go to the hospital to be treated because he was out there marching during the civil rights movement and got beat by the state troopers, and his life was on the line. Everywhere he went, with the freedom riders and things of that nature. And I seen this man sitting there this week. They were talking about they had a sit-in in the House of Representatives about gun control. And when I looked, I just happened to be looking at the news, and I looked, and I seen Representative John Lewis sitting there. He was at the sit-in. I couldn't believe it. I just couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe this man was still sitting in the House of Representatives and not even a U.S. Senator from Georgia. How is that? You tell me, you show me a person that got more love in their heart than Representative John Lewis. And you look at this man's record and look at Barack Hussein Obama's record. Look at this man's background and look at Obama's background. There's no comparison. You can't even compare Barack Hussein Obama. You don't even measure up to a John Lewis. You don't even measure up to a Representative John Lewis. I couldn't believe it, man. I was watching the news when they was reporting about the sit-in in the United States House of Representatives. Look who was sitting there. And I just happened to look at it. couldn't believe it, man. Representative John Lewis having a sit-in in the United States House of Representatives about gun control. How do you come up with Barack Hussein Obama? I just can't. I couldn't explain. We're gonna go to our reading on African traditional religion. We're gonna start our reading, and we're gonna read from the book West African Traditional Religion. West African Traditional Religion, written by Dr. Joseph Omaseni Ewelelu and Dr. P. Adelumo Do Pemu. Now we finished chapter 5 last week. Last week we finished chapter 5, the cults of God and the divinities. We're going to start reading on chapter 8, Mysterious Powers. Chapter 8, Mysterious Powers. Magic and medicine. Magic and medicine. In chapter 5, we attempted, excuse me. Well, chapter 8, Mysterious Powers, Magic and Medicine. In chapter 5, we attempted a definition of magic and medicine, and we found that they are closely related. We shall now elaborate what we have said so far about magic and medicine, and then illustrate our facts. Magic and medicine are based on the belief that there are vital forces or supernatural powers in the universe that can be tapped and controlled by man. Magic can be defined as an attempt by man to tap and control these supernatural powers or resources of the universe for his own benefit. Its motto is, "My will be done." And on this ground, magic primarily differs from religion, since man's approach in religion has always been one of submission and appeal to the supernatural power or powers. The motto of religion is always, "Thy will be done." Medicine, on the other hand, is the art of using the available forces of nature to prevent diseases and to restore and preserve health. It is prophylactic and therapeutic, preventive and curative. Magic and medicine have many things in common. A. Both are known by the same name among some ethnic groups. For example, the Yoruba call both Ogun, Egbaga, Egboga, or Asigan. The Nupe call them Sigbi. The Igbo call them Agu. And the Akan call them Sunan. B. Both are controlled by the same divinity. Among the Yoruba, we have Osunyin, and among the Igbo, we have Agu, and the tutelary divinity of magic and medicine. C. It is sometimes difficult to tell what is magic and what is medicine in certain rituals or preparations. In other words, what is regarded as medicine at times may not be more than sympathetic magic. For instance, one Yoruba preparation for curing severe headache involves the washing of the head into a dug hole at a prescribed time and in a specific place. The ingredients used in the preparation may of themselves possess medicinal properties, but the washing of the head into a hole and the rule about the time and place show that the preparation is both therapeutic and magical. Thus, medicine, like magic, may be prescribed with certain instructions that must be followed in order that it may be efficacious. For example, it can be prescribed that certain words must be said a number of times. D. Medicine, like magic, arose out of man's urgent need, that is, both came into being as a result of man's attempt to conquer his physical environment, animal enemies, natural phenomena, and diseases. E. Ritual is a common element of both magic and medicine. F. Both magic and medicine are dependent upon spiritual belief. They are inevitably connected with the supernatural, and divinities or spirits may be called upon to consecrate a magical preparation or medicament. And G. Incantations are common to both magic and medicine. There are Yoruba incantations that are solely meant to cure stomach ache, headache, convulsion, or to accelerate childbirth. However, magic and medicine are closely related to religion, and it is not easy to separate them on the following grounds. A. They all make use of supernatural powers, although in religion we implore, while in magic we command. And yet the fact remains that the divinities employed in religion do not change their nature, and being in magic and medicine when they are commanded. The only difference is the manner of approach. Thus, Isu among the Yoruba, Agu of the Igbo can be involved as a tutelary divinity in a connection with licit or illicit magic. And in most Yoruba incantations, the names of Isu, Orunmile, Orise Inle, and Sopono are frequently heard being invoked. Rituals are common elements of magic, medicine, and religion. In all, certain rites are performed to achieve man's end. The magician or medicine man may have to tie a piece of white cloth around a tree before his bark can be used with efficacy. At times, he may have to pour libations before the preparation or use of a particular medicine or magic. He may not talk when he goes to pick some leaves, and he comes back after picking the leaves without talking to anyone, so that the preparation may be efficacious. During the process of making the magic or medicine, it may be imperative for a magician or medicine man to give out money to those who meet him when preparing it, and this is a sort of sacrifice. And such people that receive the gift will automatically pray that the preparation will be efficacious. After the preparation, it may be necessary to sacrifice a hen, fowl, or any other animal by pouring the blood on the preparation. Before using the medicine, a man may invoke the spirits of the ancestors, especially the one that had earlier taught the man the particular recipe. He may even call on the divinities to consecrate the preparation. This is in recognition that all depends on divine intervention, and the man of hidden supernatural power must ask for authority or permission before he uses the preparation, as the efficacy depends on the invisible spirit's kind gesture. Before using the preparation, a man of hidden supernatural power may have to consult the oracle to ascertain the causes of certain problems or illness and what to do to avert them. Faith in the preparation is also of supreme importance, just as people should have faith in prayers. C. Magic. Medicine and religion have a common root. Among other things, they arose as a consequence of man's sense of need. They are an attempt by man to deal with the mystery that surrounds his immediate physical environment. D. Both magic and religion are symbolic. There are objects representing supernatural entities. Such objects are endowed with magical or religious significance. For example, a wood may be carved into an image in human form. In religion, this piece of wood may represent a divinity, and when man worships in front of his image, man believes that he symbolically worships in the presence of the divinity. At the same time, in magic, a piece of wood may be made to represent the effigy of an enemy, and when man shoots at the image, he believes that he symbolically shoots at his enemy, and what happens to the effigy will equally happen to his supposed enemy. C. The efficacy of magical and medicinal rites resides in the correct use of the appropriate supernatural agencies. Certain magical objects are believed to contain powers or forces that can be utilized if the right technique is known. In religious rites, the efficacy may depend on the officiant calling on the spirit or divinity with the right names and appellations. F. Taboos are common to magic, medicine, and religion. There are things that must not be done or touched in order to ensure ritual potency. G. And all we have specialists dealing with those forces employed. Also, the same person can combine the three offices. For example, many priests are well versed in the art of magic and medicine, and they serve as the principal makers of magical objects. Although it cannot be said that many magicians and medicine men are priests, it can be said undoubtedly that many priests are both magicians and medicine men. H. In religious worship, it is sometimes difficult to tell where prayers by way of supplication ends and magic by way of commanding begins. For example, prayer may be regarded as efficacious only if certain aspects of it are repeated correctly. In that case, emphasis is on the formulae rather than on the spirit and content of prayer. This fact can be illustrated with the practice of some Christian denominations, which have to say certain rituals in a particular language without caring to know whether the worshippers understand what is being said or not. The same thing can be said of Islam, where rituals must be said in Arabic. Now, since magic and medicine cannot be separated, and since what is common to them is also found in religion, it follows that magic, medicine, and religion cannot be separated also. Magic and medicine form one aspect of religion, and the three have coexisted throughout the ages. Any distinction made between them is that of approach and operation or technique. We can now look at how magic and medicine are operated. In magic, man uses two techniques. The first is homoeopathic. Homoeopathic magic works on the principle that like produces like, or on the principle of similarity. That is, the similarity between the act performed and the result expected. For example, water may be spewed into the air in a ceremonial way to make rain fall. Furthermore, a Yoruba man who wants to prevent unfaithfulness in his wife may do the following. He will place the back of a dead gecko on the ground. On his stomach, he will put an alligator pepper, squat over the gecko, and pass feces on it. He will cover it with a new pot for 7 days and let it decay with the feces. He will later take the alligator pepper on the 7th day and at an opportune time throw one of its seeds on the body of the woman. It is believed that just as the man squats and passes feces on the gecko, so also will any man that has sexual intercourse with the woman pass feces simultaneously on the woman during sexual intercourse. When this happens very often, the woman will desist from her adulterous ways. We can quote endless examples of homoeopathic magic among West Africans. And that word again is homoeopathic. Homoeopathic. Homoeopathic magic among West Africans. The second technique is contagious magic, which is based on the belief that things that have once been joined can affect one another. Thus, a woman's footprint may be treated magically to secure her love. A man can be harmed through his hair, nails, clothing, sleeping mat, placenta, navel cord, feces, spittle, footprint, chewing stick, and anything that belongs to him. Even his name is regarded as belonging to him and can be harmed through it. That is why people take care of anything and everything that belongs to them to avoid an enemy getting hold of them for harmful intention. Parents bury the placenta and navel cord of their babies without allowing people to see them. Medicine may also operate on the principle of similarity, and a cure may be affected by the use of a remedy resembling the disease. Thus, a spotted leaf may be a part of the remedy for measles or smallpox, and a woman may be asked to eat the womb of a productive animal in order to be cured of her sterility. However, most medicines have a material value, and their potency depends solely on the positive value of the ingredients. Thus, the Yoruba make use of ato plant, Chasmathera mise as an imbrication, and the leaves of Edapayita as a remedy for gonorrhea. The use of such leaves, herbs, and plants as remedies should have been based on long experience and observation. Thus, many medicines are known to have been successfully administered. And people believe that the traditional medicine can cure all types of diseases, fever, headache, gonorrhea, stomach ache, sterility, and a host of others. People believe that the power of both magic and medicine can be lost if certain taboos are broken. Among other things, magic and medicine will not keep their power if taken to the latrine, if touched after sex, if touched by menstruating women, and if touched by an unauthorized person. Magic and medicine can be purchased or learned through apprenticeship. They can also be the important heirloom of the family, being passed down from one generation to another. Nearly anything can be used in the preparation of magic and medicine, from animal and plant objects to other inanimate objects. Skulls, skins, bones, dried bats, lizards, porcupine, quills, red parrots, feathers, twigs, leaves, stones, irons, horns, and sand. These things are believed to have occult powers that can be used to achieve man's end. Magic can be used to protect the body, the community, or property, to cure diseases, ward off evil, or prevent any untoward happenings. There is no department of life into which magic does not enter. It can be used in marriage, in farming, in hunting. Lawsuits and competition, in seeking appointment, in making advances to women, in trading, and even in examination. People usually wear rings, amulets, leather girdles, and other magical objects. But some types of magic are usually burnt into powder and drunk in water or maize paste. Other types may be hung on a door or in the house, buried in the ground, or rubbed into incisions made in the skin. Okay, we're gonna stop right there. Again, we're reading from chapter 8, Mysterious Powers, and we're reading from the book titled West African Traditional Religion, written by Dr. Joseph Obasede Ewolelu and Dr. P. Adalumo Dopemu. Okay, we're going to read from the book titled African Traditional Religion, a Definition, written by Dr. E. Baloja I. Dowu. And we read from chapter 4, The Nature of African Traditional Religion. We're on B, savage. Here in the use of the word savage, we must again the invertebrate, street, and race proud man. On the 29th of May 1969, note the year, I was relaxing in a hotel room in New York City after a hard hot day's work, looking at the television. An advertisement came on the screen, and with it the words, "Ah, Africa, the Nigerian jungle, where cola grows in abundance." It turned out to be an advertisement for Coca-Cola. The civilized, the civilized world is constantly indulging in this superfluity of naughtiness. It is a consequence of the working of a defense mechanism. The underlying notion seems to be unmistakable. Anything outside their own countries or cultures, even though from such a situation they derive immense benefit for which they should be grateful, is regarded with disdain. It is only occasionally that one meets the few and far between who generally appreciate, try to understand, and seek to enter experientially into the ways and wisdom other than and different from their own. Savage stands at the opposite end of the pole from civilized. The terms are antithetic to each other. Too often, peoples or cultures and religious practices are described as savage through sheer prejudice, lack of sympathy, or understanding. We must not blink the fact, however, there are wide areas of the world today which are not technologically developed, which for that reason may be aptly described as developing or undeveloped, but strictly only for that reason. It is clear that in the technologically developed countries, things are different, with a clean and dazzling difference from those in the other areas of the world, which have less or little technological opportunities. It is an ocular fact that streets are much cleaner, towns and cities are well planned and laid out, and houses are beautiful, well built, and equipped not only with modern amenities, but also with due regard to health requirements. Also, public manners of life are guarded with regulations called etiquette, and in public everyone tries to conform to these. Whereas in certain other areas of Asia and Africa, by and large, the externals of things are not as whited or as gilded. On the whole, people behave as they really are. Public behavior and private practices have not yet learned the art of double life, and there is no doubt that there is not an unfair judgment, everything considered, to say that things could be better regulated for the good of all. There are also situations created by ignorance or lack of knowledge about certain basic facts of nature, but ignorance with its products, however disturbing or unpleasant these may be, should not be made a forced synonym for savagery. On the whole, man is man everywhere in the world. We have only to see beneath the surface to realize that the differences made possible by cultural and technological climates, excuse me, technological climates are not necessarily symptomatic of, of racial differences between one race and another with regard to human nature. As E.S. Waterhouse observes, we are aware of the fact of reversion to primitive type physically and mentally. Primitive emotion and superstition is not far beneath the surface of civilization. Scratch a Russian and you find a Tartar. Scratch a civilized man and you find a savage. Civilized and savage are brothers under their skins. A few comparative illustrations will illuminate the subject for us. First, capital has been made out of the fact of human sacrifice in Africa. Human sacrifice, we trust, has become or is fast becoming a thing of the past throughout Africa. I have discussed the subject at some length in Ode Du Marie. The fundamental principle behind it is that it is expedient that one man should die for the people, and that the whole nation should not perish. This substitutionary principle has been put into practice from time immemorial. Excuse me. Though more than often not, its expression has been the perversion which has acquired the name of human sacrifice. What is both interesting and disappointing is that the Western world is putting on blinkers with regard to the perversion of this principle, which is daily occurring in its midst. Political murders, infamously glorified as assassinations, Negro lynching resulting in the death of countless numbers of people of African descent in America, the extermination of the Aboriginal peoples in America, Australia, and New Zealand, in order that those who came to acquire their lands forcibly might possess the lands for themselves and for their posterity. The German gas chambers, which, like Moloch, devoured countless numbers of Jews. The wanton and wholesale murders of apartheid, South Africa, and Rhodesia. These perversions in each case are of the same character as ritual human sacrifice, although in these infamistic instances the case for it is very much weaker. Secondly, I have never watched on the television the films on wrestling from Canada and wrestling from Britain without being filled with horror at what to me as an African is the sheer savagery of the whole performance. In Yoruba land, for instance, wrestling is an art implying artistic movements and beauty of strategy. And when once any part of a contestant's body, apart from the feet, has touched the ground, be it no more than the tip of a finger, that contestant has been defeated and the contest is over. There is nothing of the callous, cruel assault on the contestant, twistings of or attempts to damage any organs of the body, or sitting upon a person and buffeting him when he is down. Thirdly, there are undoubtedly several parts of Africa where feuds are settled with matches and spears, dang guns, or arson. The difference between this and such undertakings in the Western world is that weapons have been scientifically perfected. Pistols, revolvers, bombs, and nuclear appliances are civilized Western counterparts. Our contention here is that there is savagery in the world, and there is plenty of it. No race has the right to impose the monopoly of it on any other race. For example, in Charles Williams' Shadows of Ecstasy, the following occurs. Philip, looking at him, thought that he wasn't looking very friendly, and that he was looking rather African, in fact rather savage. Savage was a word which might here in fact have a stronger meaning than it generally had. Let's see. Let's see. Well, okay, look, lost my place.